Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair.
Welcome to Book Time with Ryan. I am Ryan, and today I'll be talking about Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes. This is a Folio Society copy. It came in a slipcase. This is a pretty cool looking slipcase. And this is the cover. Also very cool. It's illustrated. And this is my only Folio Society book. A few things about the book. I like the illustrations. I wish the slipcase was a little more fitted to the book. There's a little bit of a gap here. And the ink that they use on the cover, if you get your fingers or your hands or whatever sticky enough and you leave them on there for a while, it starts to pull off the ink. This is something I saw with my first copy of Moby Dick before I returned it. The ink would just kind of peel off, and it's happened a couple times here. If you see in these are the two main characters, but this was all red before, and it's come off a little bit with the way I've held it. So I'm not thrilled about that. Obviously, it's the ink style, and it's not unique to this book because the cloth bound texture with this kind of ink was what was similar with Moby Dick. So what is this about? Well, this is about two boys who are best friends. One is Jim Nightshade. One is Will Holloway. Will and Jim are both 13 years old, but Will was born a minute before midnight on October 31st, the day before Halloween. And Jim was born 1 minute after midnight, so born on Halloween. The boys live in a small town. They do typical boy stuff, whatever time period this is. This was originally published in 1962. This copy was printed in 2020. So sometime before 1962, I'm not 100% sure when. It may be the 1940s or 1950s, but it's a small town. Jim and Will are best friends. They do everything together. They run around and get in trouble together. It does have that small town feel to it. A small town feel with a cigar shop and a barber where everyone knows each other in some way. Maybe not personally, but they know the faces and they've all been around. So before Halloween, Jim and Will run into a lightning rod salesman named Mr. Fury. And Mr. Fury gives them a lightning rod. He says a storm's coming, it's right behind them, and it's going to hit one of their houses. So he determines that it's going to hit Jim's house. Jim and Will's houses are right next to each other. Jim has a mother, but his father died or left, I can't remember. And Will's father and mother are still with him. Will's father, Charles, works as a janitor at the library for the town. The way Bradbury describes the library, anybody who likes books would love this place. I'm picturing it as like a castle, basically, like with many rooms. But I think I'm probably imagining more than it really was thought to be. I don't think there was ever a storm. It felt like there was a storm coming, but there wasn't a lightning strike as predicted by Mr. Fury. But at 3 a.m., a train arrives. And the train is carrying a carnival. And the carnival is really led by a guy called Mr. Knight, who is also called the Illustrated Man because he has tattoos all over him. And the tattoos move. I think the tattoos are the souls that he's kind of trapped over the years. Will and Jim go to the carnival, as kids do, and they run into one of their teachers, and she goes into this mirror maze and is kind of lost in the mirror maze. We quickly find out there's something wrong with this carnival. Will and Jim pull her out of the mirror maze, and she is very traumatized, goes home. Will and Jim try to get on the carousel, and it says that the carousel's broken, but they try to do it anyway. And it turns out that this carousel, if you get on it and it's going forward, it can make you age. Each rotation is a year. If it goes backwards, it can make you become younger. We find out that this carnival has been doing this for hundreds of years, probably. At least as far back as the early 1800s in newspapers for this area. But probably much earlier than that. And I don't know if there's something really wrong with Mr. Knight, the illustrated man, like if he's a demon. It seems like he is, but it's hard to know if he's just kept himself young using that machine, using the carousel, or if he has, or if something else is going on with him, like he's a demon, or some kind of devil-ish character. This book is basically Jim and Will trying to find out what's going on, trying to protect their families, and then trying to end this carnival, which is trying to hunt them down. They're trying to find them so they can do something to them. It all comes to a head after a parade with the carnival they used to try to track Jim and Will down, and they do. And what we find is Will's dad, Charles, who we thought was a weak character, is actually very strong. I think he's needed his life. He's been down. He's done the right thing most of the time. And he's generally a good guy. So he is trying to help his son, Will. And he's trying to help his son's best friend, Jim, survive this. And really the hero of this book is Charles, because he takes on different characters. And the way he takes them on is he doesn't take them seriously. And he laughs in their face. And that scares the illustrated man. It scares probably the most powerful, creepy character in this, the Dust Witch. And he fights back. And in the end, Will has been saved, but Jim almost is lost. It's Will and Charles, and really Jim in some ways, that saves Jim in the end. I did not know what to expect going into this. It is my second Ray Bradbury book, but it's really the first classic Ray Bradbury book that I've read. I did a review after I read, and I also did an unboxing of Green Shadows, White Whale. But that was a very different, later work by Ray Bradbury. This is one of the early ones. And after I got most of the way through this book, I decided I wanted to read another Ray Bradbury book in the future. So I got Fahrenheit 451, which I haven't read yet, but it's on my bookshelf now. I liked it. I gave it 5 stars. It was creepy. I've said that I like Ray Bradbury theater shows from the, I think, 90s. And this had that feel. The characters were very creepy. And you constantly felt the pressure on Will and Jim to escape, to fight back. And the odds were against them. And, you know, while they were fighting back, would anybody believe them? That this is kind of like a hell carnival. And the carnival is taking people's souls and making people young or old. And it's hard to believe. It would be hard to put that in a police report. So I liked it. I like this copy. I brought up the ink issue, but I'll show you some of the pictures in here, because it's just, the pictures are good. The pictures are cool. And this just kind of shows you the basic colors in the pictures. Here's Will and Jim. I didn't even see this one. This one's probably before I started reading. That's probably the illustrated man with the top hat. There's probably Will and Jim walking to the carnival. There's the train pulling in with kind of smoke with screams. You could tell that there was something wrong with this train. Something bad about it. And these are some of the tattoos that are on the illustrated man. Here's the illustrated man with some of the other characters that are with him. Kind of the freak show. So, if you haven't read Ray Bradbury, I highly recommend it. This is my first experience with like a true classic Ray Bradbury book, and I enjoyed it, and I look forward to reading some more. But he does do a great job kind of like framing the world that he's depicting, and this is again the cover of Slipbox with a carousel horse that's disintegrating. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you later. Bye.
Losing my timing this late in my career, but where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe